Hey guys, so we're going to talk a little bit about triple composite functions here today. Now, to remind you on how to do just normal composite functions when we just have two or one going into the other, I'm just going to take your attention to the three functions that I've written at the top of this page. We have f of x, g of x, and h of x. Now, I'm going to start off by trying to work out what fg of x would be. That means I'm having g of x and I'm putting it into f of x. We almost work our way outwards every time that we do this. So g of x is x squared, and I'm going to be putting it into the function f of x. So where x is, I just substitute what g of x is into that point. So in this case, it's going to be 2 multiplied by x squared subtract 1, which just simplifies to 2x squared subtract 1. Another orientation of it, in fact, if I flip it around, if I have g f of x, that means I'm putting the f of x function into the g of x. So substituting that in, I'm actually going to get 2x subtract 1, the f of x, then I'm squaring it. In that case, we can either just simplify that, or we can actually multiply out the brackets. We have 2x subtract 1 and 2x subtract 1. Multiplying it out, we have 4x squared subtract 4x plus 1. Now, if I'm going to be doing a triple composite function, it means I'm just going to be doing it one more step. So let's start by doing, I think, h f g of x. Let's go for that one there. That means I'm going to start with g of x, put it into f of x, and then put all of that into h of x. So we actually already know what fg of x is. So I can have that fg of x already. We have 2x squared subtract 1, and we're going to be putting that into x subtract 3 over 2. So that's the fg of x. The first step is to work out these two, on which we've already done. Then put it into the last function. So in this case, it's going to be 2x squared subtract 1, which is the x here, then subtract 3, all over 2. Simplified, that would be 2x squared subtract 4 over 2, which simplifies again to x squared subtract 2. We could try different orientations of it. Let's try a different one. Let's say we have h. Let's maybe not start with h. Let's start with g, I think. gfh of x. It's going to get a little bit complicated, but I'm sure can do it. So let's start off by doing fh of x first. That's going to make my life a little bit easier, then put it into g. So fh of x, I'm taking h of x and I'm putting it into f of x. So that means I'm going to have 2 multiplied by x subtract 3 over 2. So that's my h of x being put in, subtract 1. Let's multiply it out. We've divided by 2 within the bracket and we're multiplying by 2, so it just simply becomes x subtract 3, then we still subtract that 1, simplifying to x subtract 4. With that, we're now going to be trying to put it into g of x. So we've got our fh of x and putting it into g of x. So x subtract 4. And we are squaring it. Multiplying that out, it means we've got x subtract 4 multiplied by x subtract 4, which is x squared subtract 8x, add 16. Okay, let's try one last combination, in fact the different permutation. Let's go for, I think we've started with h, we start with g, let's start with f this time. Let's start as fgh of x. Let's go in alphabetical order. So fgh of x, we're going to again start with the last two. We work our way outwards. First we put h into g, find out what that is, and put all of that into f. So h of x, to remind, is x subtract 3 over 2, and we're squaring it. So gh of x is going to be x subtract 3 over 2 squared, which is x subtract 3 over 2 multiplied by x subtract 3 over 2. Algebraic fractions already coming into this, which is going to be x squared subtract 6x plus 9 over 4. That's going to be my gh of x. And now we've got to take all of this and put it into f of x, which is up here. So putting it into there, That's going to be 2 multiplied by the x squared subtract 6x plus 9 over 4, which is what we've just had, subtract 1. 2x subtract 1, or this gh of x. Multiplying this out, we're going to have x squared subtract 6x plus 9 over 2, as we have a quarter of this now. Multiplying by 2, we just have half of this, subtract 1, and I can't see another way to simplify that, so that would be my final answer. I hope this has been a little bit informative for you and helpful.